Now, watch this. Let's talk philosophy. What's the philosophy that you have right now? What's your philosophy? Here's the philosophy of a firefighter. I may be bored at the station half the time. I will receive some calls as a result of others' carelessness. In other words, help, help, 911. My cat is in a tree. Lord have mercy. Help, help, 911. My dog is stuck. His nose is stuck in the fence. Lord have mercy. Help, help, 911. You see what I'm saying? You got to know that as a fireman. You're going to go on some calls and you're just going to say, Lord have mercy. You got to know as a fireman, I may lose some of my brothers any day now. That's got to be part of your thought process. Not every day, but that's a reality you face. You got to know as a fireman, I will not make tons of money. But if I save one life, it was all worth it. Now, I want you guys to understand what I'm trying to get you to, what I want you to see right now. Every profession has a philosophy. As an entrepreneur, if you aren't succeeding, it's because you're not operating under the right philosophy. A police officer, a drug dealer, a teacher, an employee, and a business owner. And these are all quick. Let me say this again. A firefighter has a philosophy. A police officer has a philosophy. A teacher has a philosophy. A drug dealer has a philosophy. An employee has a philosophy, and an entrepreneur has a philosophy. The question is, what philosophy are you operating in right now? Some of you guys are entrepreneurs, but you still operate with an employee mentality. You don't invest in yourself. $100 is too much. $1,000 is you way too much. I never spent $1,000 on anything. Look, I spent $2,000. Actually, I spent more than that. We spent about $4,000 a few weeks ago to learn from somebody that's an 8-figure earner. How in the world are you going to get from 7 figures to 8 without learning from 8-figure earners? You got to spend 4 figures to get to 8 figures. You got to spend 3 figures to get to 5 figures. Some of you guys aren't spending any figures. That's why you got no figures. You still thinking like a W-2, but you swear you a 1099. It's a different philosophy. So once you understand the philosophy of an entrepreneur, you'll start acting as if. Write that down or type it in the chat room. You have to act as if. If you are a millionaire, if you aren't a millionaire, you have to act as if you are. Like even when I didn't have a dime, I would tip more than I was supposed to, because I said, you know what, one day all this gonna come back. Let me, I know I really don't have but $2, but hey, let me ball out tonight. Let me give them 10. You know what I'm saying? I was acting as if I had it. And then guess what? Lo and behold, I got it. You guys got to start acting as if. You can't operate in your current state and confuse that with your permanent state. You see, a lot of you guys confuse a current temporary situation for a future permanent situation. And there's a big difference. When I learned how to act as if, blessings start coming to me like you wouldn't believe, because I started walking and acting as if. I'm not saying you buy things you can't afford. I'm not saying fake it till you make it. I hate those sayings. Hey man, you got to fake it till you make it. No, you fake it and you be broke. Okay, you don't fake it till you make it. You don't buy things you can't afford, but you got to act as if you're already there, and your mind and body will start to communicate in a way that will put you in that situation. A teacher says, you know what? I'm going to spend half my day raising other people's children. I know that. I may teach from a curriculum that I do not 100% agree with. Y'all know a lot of these teachers don't necessarily agree with what they're teaching. Okay, so you got to know up front, I will be extremely underpaid for my worth. But if I impact the future, it was all worth it. See, no matter what your profession is, guys, we all have something that makes it all worth it. Everybody has something that makes it all worth it. So I'm going to spend half my day raising your kids. I already know that, because a lot of parents aren't doing what they're supposed to do. I'm going to teach from a curriculum that I don't necessarily agree with. I know that teaching Shakespeare may not get you a job, but I got to do it anyway. I know that understanding the Pythagorean theorem may not get you a job, but I got to teach it anyway. I know that you should be learning entrepreneurship from an entrepreneur, but you're learning it from an economic professor, but I got to do it anyway. I know pi and 3.14 may not get you a job or get you any money, but I got to do it anyway. I will be extremely underpaid for my worth. Everybody knows that, okay? Teachers are way underpaid in this country. But you know what a teacher philosophy is? If I impact the future, it was all worth it. A dope dealer, a kingpin, I'm going to work my way up. I understand that. We're talking about a kingpin now. That's a little corner crack hustler. At some point, I will have to kill someone. Let me tell you something, guys. You don't get up here to this level without doing it. They understand that. If you're in a dope game, you got to be willing to kill and take a life at some point, because somebody's going to try to take yours. We're not talking about your little crackhead now. We're talking about a little king. We're talking about a kingpin here. That's a little crack deal on the corner. I will face 25 to life if I ever get caught. I understand that. Every profession has a philosophy. I will live it up short term. I understand that. So I'm going to ride this Ferrari. I'm going to ride this Bentley. I'm going to have these mansions. I'm going to travel the world because I know when they come for me, they are coming. But if I can get away with it, guess what? It was all worth it. See, let me look at you before we close out. Make it worth it. Make it worth it. Because now, before we go, I'm going to show you the entrepreneur mentality and the employee mentality. And if you're having a hard time being an entrepreneur, it's because you haven't made the shift yet. Here's the mindset that you have to understand that it takes to make the shift. And we're out of here in 5 minutes or less. An employee's philosophy is simple. I will work 40 to 50 hours a week. I'm not knocking anybody with a job. I've had a job. Okay? Nothing wrong with a job. Make this a note somewhere. Be thankful for your job, but not satisfied. Be thankful for your job, but not satisfied. There's nothing wrong with a job. Well, if you want to get wealthy, that's not the vehicle. I'm just telling you that right now. It's not designed for it. They will pay me for 40 to 50 hours a week. I will work for 40 to 55 hours a week. They will pay me for 40 to 55 hours a week. The agreement, do just enough not to get fired, and they will pay you just enough not to quit. That's the agreement that you're making if you have a job. Most people do just enough not to get fired and get paid just enough not to quit. Let me type this in here because I want you to put that down. That's the philosophy. I may have to work 40 plus years. An employee understands that. Here's what an employee is saying. If the benefits are great and I can stay, it was all worth it. See, let me make sure you get this. There is no such thing as security and opportunity. They don't exist. Security and opportunity don't exist. You either want great benefits and you want to feel secure, or you want to take a chance out here, the stress, go through all of it. Go through all the stress so that you can live for the name on the back of your jersey, not the name on the front. You want to hustle for your last name, not your first name. So guess what? The stress, you got to go through all of it. It's coming. But here's my thing about people that don't understand entrepreneurship. You stress anyway. You stressed on a job. You're going to be stressed as a business owner. So if stress is stress, you might as well be stressed because of your own stress. Why are you stressed? Because of somebody else's stress. Look, stress is stress. So at least be stressed with some equity. It amazed me how stressed I was on my job. And I was like, look, if I'm going to be stressed, hell, I might as well be stressed for myself. Stress is stress. Employee, work 40 hours. Pay me 40 hours. I'm going to do just enough not to get fired. You're going to do just enough so you get paid just enough so I won't quit. I'm going to work 40 plus hours, but if the benefits are great and I can stay, it was all worth it. Entrepreneur. I will either have to invest a ton of time or money. I will either have to invest a ton of time or money. Starting out, I may not make a dime. This is an entrepreneur talking now. They understand these things. Starting out, I may not make a dime. Most of my friends and family will not support me. Guys, listen to me. Don't take that personal. It's just that your friends and family, a lot of times, they don't see your vision. So how can they? And a lot of times you're going to fail. It's natural. So they start worrying about what happened to you in the past, not where you're going in the future. Okay, I was very, very fortunate. My friends and family have always supported me. My mother, who's on the webinar right now, Mom, I love you. I can't tell you enough, a million times. My mother's the reason I am where I am. My mother to this day still sends me books. She sent me the Laws of Success like 5 times, the same book, and I'm not exaggerating. 5 copies of the same book. Hey, Brian, you got this one? Hey, did you get this one? Hey, they got a new one. Did you get this one? Hey, Brian, Napoleon Hill got a new one. Did you get this one? I'm like, yes, Mom. I got all 5 of them, and I'm reading them. My parents supported me to no end. Everybody didn't have that luxury. But it's not, don't take it. Friends just aren't connected as you are to your vision. That's why it's called your vision. It's not their vision, right? Their vision is the previous slide. So why are you expecting people to get wrapped up in your vision when they have the previous vision? So quit tripping. Entrepreneurs understand. Most of my friends and family won't support me. That's okay. An entrepreneur is not worried about how many hours he has to work. An entrepreneur just gets the job done. An entrepreneur is not worried about having support from everybody. An entrepreneur just gets the job done. An entrepreneur doesn't worry about everybody wrapped up in his vision because he understands it is his vision, not everybody else's. I promise you, you won't get criticized at all if you do nothing and you are nobody. I promise you. Look, let me give you the guaranteed way to avoid criticism. Be nothing, do nothing, nobody will talk about you. If you aren't getting criticized, you aren't doing anything. So everybody that doesn't have any criticism, anybody pulling at you, anybody telling you you can't make it, anybody telling you you can't do it, anybody telling you you won't succeed, guess what? That's because you're not doing anything. Now, when the people start saying you're not going to make it, when the people start saying you need to quit, when the people start saying that's not going to work, I got a question for you. Who are they and how are they living? If a person's not living the way I want to live, you can shut the hell up. It's real simple. You can't tell me nothing. The only person that can tell me something is the bank teller. Okay, so I'm just being honest with you guys, man. You got to start getting a little confidence about yourself when you have that entrepreneurial mindset that we're talking about this week. The only person that can tell me something is the bank teller. Okay, a broke person can't tell me nothing. Because the minute you start listening to them, you become them. I want you guys to see this. This is what success really looks like. This is what people think success is. If you really understood what it takes to be an entrepreneur, then you won't be surprised when you see that this is the exact route entrepreneurship really looks like. Entrepreneurship looks like this. I'm excited. Oh, it's hard. Oh, it's working. Oh, I messed up. Oh, give up the good idea give up the good for the great. Oh, I think I'm filing bankruptcy. Oh, I'm good. I don't know why I get down on myself. Oh, I was wrong. I suck. Wait a second. Life is great. This is the life of an entrepreneur. Let me tell you guys something. Peaks and valleys are cool. Just don't flatline. Write that down. Peaks and valleys are cool. Just don't flatline. The minute you flatline and your heart stops beating, up and down, up and down, the minute you flatline, you're dead. Never, ever forget that. So it's okay to be excited. It's okay to change your mind. It's okay to say it's working. It's okay to admit you were wrong. It's okay to say, give up the good for the great. I'm making it. It's okay to say I'm filing bankruptcy and start over. It is okay. Your FICO score does not define who you are. It is okay to say I was down on myself, but now I'm back. It's okay to say I suck, but just for a second. It's okay to say, wait a minute, life is good. Just don't flatline.